So we're here today in San Francisco with Mike Lee and Albert Lee, the brothers who co-founded MyFitnessPal, the leading digital health software and service in the world. They have 70 million users worldwide who last year lost 200 million pounds. That's more than the weight of every man, woman, child, and dog in San Francisco. But what's even more extraordinary is they built this business. They funded it personally out of their own savings to a profitable industry leader until 2013, when they raised some $18 million of venture capital. Well, you're at the center of a really epic revolution that's been described as quantitative self, digital health, personal well-being. Yep. Tell me, where are we in this revolution?
We're definitely at the very beginning. This is the first inning. The amount of data that we will be able to collect about ourselves is just exploding. Not only about ourselves, but about the world around us. And, you have this incredible device that's with you 24/7 in your pocket that is incredibly powerful. And, I think where this is going is all of that combined means that you will essentially be able to have either 24/7 a coach or 24/7 a doctor with you at all times to help you make healthier decisions and lead a healthier life.
Will you tell us what MyFitnessPal does?
So at its core, I think what it does is it makes it really, really easy, easier than it's ever been before, to track what you eat and the exercise that you perform. And with that information, we can provide you with insights that help you make healthier choices. It's really that simple.
Some people have described it as making the invisible visible, because there's so much lack of awareness. It's actually amazing how little people know about what they eat or the exercise that they're performing, how that relates. And that's really what MyFitnessPal does, is just gives you that information that you can use to make better decisions. And those insights, we call them moments of clarity for our users. They'll stick with you for the rest of your life. Like, when I first started tracking what I ate, I learned that a tablespoon of mayonnaise has 90 calories and a tablespoon of mustard has 5. And that has literally, since that day, I haven't eaten mayonnaise. It's stuck with me.
Apologies to the mayonnaise.
Short Hellmann's.
Yeah, that's a very common experience that our users have. Those insights that really stick with you for the rest of your life.
And what kind of difference does it make today? Would you, Albert or Michael, tell me some stories about your users and how their lives have changed with what you offer now?
We talk a lot actually about this idea of non-scale victories. And this woman had written into us and told us that one of the most important non-scale victories for her was this time when she was able to get out of her chair without pushing up with her hands. And that was this incredibly poignant and important moment in her life.
It was the first time she had been able to do that in 20 years, she said.
Because of MyFitnessPal.
Yeah, well, I think we're actually pretty humble about our users' success. I mean, we know that they're the ones that are actually doing all the hard work. They're the ones that are making these incredible changes in their lives. But for them to feel like we had even a small part to play, that's pretty awesome. So these kinds of stories, I mean, they're the thing. Our team we have actually this customer, our customer happiness team sends out an email every week. We're constantly getting these amazing emails from our members, and they actually summarize them and send them out. And that is the most widely read email in the company by far. It's the one that everybody looks forward to because the stories are so amazing. We love it. I mean, that's kind of what keeps us going.
That sounds like a great job, customer happiness. What do I do if I'm a customer happiness rep?
It's interesting. So when we were small, we were bootstrapped and, we could barely afford anybody to hire. But one of the first hires we made was actually our customer happiness team. That's how important it was to make our customers, as happy and satisfied as possible. And, really from that very beginning, that DNA, it's still stuck with us, even today. That team's amazing.
So one of the things that we do in the company is every sort of month or month and a half or so, we actually have some of our members come in, and they'll sit on a panel in front of the whole company, and they'll talk to us about their experiences using the app. And we had this guy who came in and talked to us about how he had always been troubled by this really difficult skin condition. He essentially had very severe eczema. And one of the things that he learned through the use of our product were what foods cause that to flare up, cause that to get better, cause that to get worse. And it was like something that certainly we had never really envisioned as being, one of the reasons why our product could help people. And so we're always like amazed by how people are using it to sort of better their lives, better their health.
So for 8 years, you built this company, you self-funded it, some would say bootstrapped it, into profitability with your own savings and credit cards or whatever. I bet that was hard and scary.
Yeah, it was. It was. We didn't pay ourselves for how many years? 2 years?
Over 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. We took every dime that we made, we put it back into the company. We were lucky that we had some savings, and we also had wives that were incredibly supportive, and that were working, maybe more importantly.
Working and supportive.
Yes, yeah. And so that without them, there's no way we could have done this. But yeah, I mean, we poured everything back into the company, and glad we did.
This is very exciting. So let's go back to the beginning. Tell us about how and why you started MyFitnessPal.
Yeah, 10 years ago. Well, the idea for the company actually started with my wedding. So my wife and I were engaged, and we were going to have a beach wedding, and so we were inviting all of our friends, and we said to ourselves, okay, before the big day, we got to lose some weight. And so we went to see a trainer. I actually signed up, I think we signed up for 24-hour fitness, and we got a free training session as part of our membership. And so we thought, we'll go see this guy and see what he says. And he said, the first thing you have to do if you want to lose weight is you have to count calories. And he gave us a little book, a paper book. I think it had 3,000 foods in it. And we were supposed to write everything down that we were eating. And I'm a tech person. I've been in the Valley since 1997. I love technology. So there was no way that I was going to do this on pen and paper. There were dozens of websites and apps that tried to help you do this, but they were terrible. None of them worked the way I thought they should work. They were all actually harder to use than just writing it down on pen and paper. And really, this is the perfect technology application, right? And so I've been programming since I was 10, and I was looking for just a project to build, and I thought, oh, I'll build this. And that's literally how MyFitnessPal got started.
10 years ago, you built it in your spare time, or you said, I'm doing this full time?
I took a year off from work to do it. Right. Mainly I just wanted a break.
And did you go back to work, or did you?
I did for a little bit. Yeah, I actually worked at another startup for a while, but the entire time I was still, coding at night, coding on weekends.
You wrote the code?
I did.
All the code?
I did.
And when did you hire your first employee?
I think we hired our first employee in 2008. 2008.
Am I the first employee? By that definition?
I didn't pay you. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Are you paying him now?
Yes,
a little bit.
Getting paid.
But after a few years, you did bring your brother Al into the company.
Yes.
Did that make this a family business?
Yeah. I mean, it was the two of us. I think what happened with MyFitnessPal is it just started to grow on its own. Weight loss is a funny thing. People, when they first start dieting, they're very private about it, or a lot of people are at least. But when you succeed, you tell everyone, right? And people notice. If you see somebody that's lost 30 or 40 pounds, you can tell, right? And so they really become like walking billboards for us. And so, the company just, they talk about how they did it, and people want to try it, and that's really how we've grown from the very beginning. But as that growth started to take off, I was building the site for fun. But once we started to see that, wow, this thing's actually got some legs to it. What would happen if we actually worked on it full time and put some energy, real energy into it? And so that's when I convinced Al. I don't know if convinced is the right word.
I'll tell you how the phone call went.
Yes.
It was, hey Al, I need you to quit your job and work on MyFitnessPal. So when are you going to start?
That's
it doesn't,
A lot of courting there, wasn't
yeah,
it?
it doesn't feel to be phrased as a question.
That's the older brother privileges.
Yeah.
So how does this work out between the younger brother and the older brother? How do you divide your roles?
I'm the older brother.
Yeah, exactly. I think in the beginning, it's just the two of us. So I think one of the things that I'm really grateful to Mike about is, he always treated me as a partner, even though this was something that he had been working on by himself for many years before I got involved. And so, I think that's kind of how we felt about it. It was a partnership. I think both of us have pretty broad backgrounds in tech. We just sort of split up responsibilities in terms of who had the time to deal with stuff. We split a lot of things. I remember we answered every customer email ourselves. That was something we would do every morning. Remember, we'd wake up and we'd write back to all of our customers. And if I'd be working on product a lot. Mike obviously was still writing a lot of code at that time. And then as the company, I think, has grown, we realized it was more important for us to really establish more clearly defined roles. And so, I think that's when Mike really became the CEO of the company. And I've been focused on product ever since then.
Yeah. What happens when you disagree?
Yeah, we disagree all the time, right?
I think.
Yeah.
You disagree with that.
Yeah.
We debate all the time, but it works because it's always in the spirit of what's the right decision for the company. It's never about us. It's never about me or Al. It's about the company. A lot of people talk about the importance of having a co-founder, and I totally get it, why you need to have a co-founder, because there's just so many hard moments, really hard moments, and it's lonely, or it could be lonely. I was really lucky to have Al with me, to have a brother who actually was good at doing stuff.
Thank you. 2013, you decided to take external capital.
Yep.
Thank you for having us be one of your investors. But
Thank you.
What were you thinking then? Was that
a
good idea?
Well, absolutely. I mean, it was a massive inflection point for the company. I think, the thinking behind it, we were actually being chased, honestly, by VCs for years. Some of them pretty relentlessly, to be honest. I think 2010 might have been the first call, I think, that we got.
Probably.
We sometimes had people literally like knocking on our door, uninvited. And I got to be honest, when we were pretty nervous about raising VC, frankly. We were doing really well, and the company was growing. We were actually making a lot of profit. In some ways, actually, we felt that we were so profitable that was actually a problem. It was a sign to us that we were underinvested. We were worried about how the company would change if we raised money. I think what became clear to us, though, is that the opportunity that we saw in front of us, literally every day that we were working on the business, it became bigger and bigger to us. Like what we saw, what MyFitnessPal could become, it really was very eye-opening to us, right? Like the opportunity was just so big, and we wanted to make sure that we had all the ammunition that we needed to win that market.
So what did you do then with those resources that you wouldn't have otherwise?
Well,
how did things change?
I remember we always used to joke that we had this 1,000-item to-do list.
Right.
Like we had like a million ideas of stuff that we wanted to do, and we'd go through the year and we'd cross off the first 3 things, and that was it. And we'd be like, that was a good year. I mean, we made a lot of progress, but there was always so much stuff below the line. Mm-hmm. And I think, once we really had the capital, it allowed us to pursue a lot of those things more aggressively. And that was actually a big piece of why it felt really important for us to do this, is because the stuff that was falling below that line was just so big, so
really
impactful
important
to the company.
Yeah.
Is this an opportunity that's going to make our customers more successful?
Yes.
If it is, then it's worth consideration. And so I think the capital does so many great things. The partnership with amazing firms does so many great things, but it actually presents a challenge in that you have to really be smart about how you think about all the opportunities you get.
The capital was actually probably, honestly, the least useful part. It was actually the other more intangible benefits that were a lot more, I think we feel a lot more impactful. So things like, for example, the team. When you're building a company, you need the absolute best team possible. And we have the great fortune of working with an absolutely amazing team. And so one of the things that we frankly struggled with as a bootstrap company was getting the visibility or being able to recruit amazing people. We were lucky. We knew a lot of amazing people, and so we were able to build that core just from our personal relationships. But we started tapping out that network, and one of the things that was really great and really beneficial was how the VCs that we were working with helped us but raise our profile, and recruit and acquire just amazing talent.
And what would your hardcore advice then be for entrepreneurs who are thinking about raising their first outside capital?
Yeah.
What was going through your mind? What should go through theirs?
I think what you want, you should think of this as like you're hiring a partner, right? You need to be viewing it in exactly the same way. We're actually almost really getting married, right?
We learned a lot about how, there are a lot of great investors out there who are 100% behind the entrepreneurs that they support.
So you have some big news that you're announcing. This is a bold move, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we are being acquired. We're merging with Under Armour. I got to tell you, we are excited. And honestly, it was hard. This was our baby. We've been working on MyFitnessPal for 10 years, and we had put our blood, sweat, and tears into the company, and so we wanted to make sure that this was really the right decision. As we got to know the team, as we started to really think about the possibilities of what we could do, the greater things and that we could do faster, combined with Under Armour, I think that's when we became convinced that this was the right decision. Under Armour will be the clear leader in digital fitness by far. They'll be, it'll be the largest. That's right. Yes, that's right. We will be the largest health and fitness community in the world. We'll be more than 4 times bigger than anyone else. I'm not even sure, maybe even bigger than that. And you combine that strength in digital fitness with what we think is one of the world's greatest brands. Right. Under Armour as a brand is just unbelievable. And then you have this incredible access to athletes. And you have the best fitness products on the planet. You can kind of see, you bring all of that together, you can just imagine the possibilities. I think Under Armour is a company, they like to look forward. We like to look forward. And we want to skate to where the puck is going. That's what this kind of move is.
When you decided to join forces, to be acquired by Under Armour, you had a choice, didn't you? You could have stayed an independent company or be acquired. How did you think about that decision?
Well, I think it's a hard one, I think, for every entrepreneur. So for Mike and I think, from the beginning, we've really focused on building our business. That's been always our focus. How can we put the greatest product out there? How can we service our customers better? And so I can say really honestly that I don't think there's been a time where we've actually thought about, hey, we want to sell our company. But when the opportunity appeared, to really work with Under Armour, in the ways that Mike described, and to be able to leverage all the amazing assets that they have, I think it just kind of awoke something in us to really think about that. And thinking about our customers a lot. Is this something where we can really accelerate what we can deliver to them to enable them to be even more successful? And I think when we looked across all those different dimensions, it became more obvious that this was the right thing to do. So I imagine, once again, that a lot of people kind of go through that process, and when the answer is like positive on all fronts, it just seems really clear that you got to do it.
So I'm an entrepreneur now, and I'm coming to you for advice.
I think one of the things that many people take for granted is that it's never too early to start thinking about the company you want to become. And so I think, whether it's like, what are the values, what are the things that you care about, what is really the mission for the business, more than just like, what is our product and what does it do for our customers, but like, why are we here? Why does our company exist? And I think that stuff is really meaningful. It's not just stuff you write on the wall and you kind of forget about it. it's those things that are the things that I think help you get through the ups and the downs, help you be focused, help you think long term when there's a lot of pressure to not do that.
How would you describe the culture of MyFitnessPal today? And do you think it's going to change now that you're part of Under Armour? Do you want it to change?
Yeah.
Culture.
We are definitely a missionary culture. Very clearly, we are a missionary culture, and we do not want that to change, and we don't think that it will change. Again, that was one of the reasons why we, felt that we could become a part of Under Armour, is because they are also missionaries. My personal take on that spectrum is that I just think it's so much more powerful to be a missionary. As a company, you're going to have ups and downs. You cannot guarantee financial success, but what you can guarantee is that focus on your mission, that you're working towards a goal. I just think that that's a much more powerful motivator, and a much more consistent motivator. And there have been many times where we feel like that has kept the company together, that common pursuit of the goal of creating a healthy planet. It's something that you can be proud of. We're certainly proud of.
So Michael and Albert, what a great gift it is, a gift you've given the world to build a healthy company that will bring us an even healthier planet. I'm here to thank you for the conversation and to thank you for having Kleiner, Perkins, and me as part of your journey. Congratulations.
Thank you, John.
Thanks very much, John.